I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you a property that I purchased that the county deemed unbuildable. So what I want to do is basically show you the condition of the property when I got it and how the progress is coming along. The most important thing is, of course, I want to build on this property, and I want to take those steps that are required to see if I can turn this from an unbuildable lot to a buildable lot. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what it looked like. On the right, you can see the Google and the Google Maps. And this is kind of what it looked like. And on the right is actually the video that the owner took showing the condition of the property when I took it over. So I'm going to start this video here to just show you what it was, what kind of condition it was in. So you can see this is the back of the property. You'll see in a second there was about 11 vehicles and trailers on this property. You can see one of them is in the shed. So right behind the shed there's a small creek, and there was about, I think it's about 10 feet behind the shed. So it is, there are some wetlands. The crazy thing is that the property right next door to it has a whole bunch of, well, I mean, the property to the right and left, they don't say unbuildable, but for some reason this one says unbuildable. You can see this like 1978 Ford van. There's an engine right there on the stand. I mean, this property was overgrown by thorn bushes, and as we go over I'll show you what we've done so far. So you can see there's a Saturn right there that was part of the property, and most of these cars are going to be disposed. There's two Fiats. There's this like a 1978 Fiat, and then there's a Fiat up there as well. A few trailers. There's another Fiat right there inside. I think that was a 77. And you can see this little trail that goes to the back of the shed, and it goes to where the creek is. So you can see that Fiat right there I was telling you about. And I'll be showing you how much work has been done so far after we go over this video, but I want to show you, here's a box, a toolbox for the back of a truck. We got that pulled out of there. So this is where the Toyota's parked right there. That's already the neighbor's property. That's kind of like the property line right there. But this shed is my property. There's a whole bunch of garbage right there. Trailer, bunch of stuff. Lots of wood right there. And trailer. And I'll be showing you what has been removed so far. So all this stuff right here was actually the neighbors, which we ended up dropping off at their place. And like I said, somebody's coming to pick this one up here in the next couple of days, but I'm just going through the video that I received before I purchased the property, and then I will show you exactly what I've done so far to get it cleaned up, to start going through the environmental studies and seeing what's possible, what's not possible. Can we get the county to market buildable, and potentially put a smaller, small little place to live, 1,200 square foot home. So back in 1991, somebody did a perk test on this property and it did not perk. So another problem was that it's right next to the river, so that it is in a 100-year floodplain. So that might also be a problem. So this is the third shed you can see on the right, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's to the right there. That's kind of the driveway where you're seeing on the right. That's kind of where we're looking at. Behind all those, behind all that stuff, you'll see basically behind all these bushes on the right. This is what you have. So this video is going to finish here shortly. So let's see which way she goes. So you can see, I mean, the property is about 0.28 acres, so about 12,500 square feet. And it's a nice little lot in the mountains. But like I said, the amount of garbage and trash and vehicles and all kinds of stuff here, it's crazy. So that's it for this part of the video. Now let's get started with the next part where we will go into what's been done so far. As you can see on the left, this is the driveway that's been basically cleared. The thorn bushes have been cleared. No real driveway has been put in because you still need a culvert, and I haven't been putting any vehicles in here because of that. So I left the tow truck down there and just pulled these vehicles out of here. But let's get started with the updates. So as you can see, a lot of the cars have been moved out. That's that Subaru that was in the shed that was all the way in the back. Those two Fiats were kind of stuck in there. And now they're just behind the shed here. They used to be right here, and that Subaru was in that. Here, let me go back. So the Subaru was all the way in that back shed. You saw all the thorn bushes that were right there. The two Fiats were right there. That old Ford truck was, I mean, unbelievable. It was covered by thorn bushes. You could barely even see it. That trailer right there with the garbage can on it, that was also completely covered, and we just cut all that stuff out. So moving on, the boat was pulled out a little bit from the back. So let me pause here. This is basically from, I think this was like 5-6 days ago, but ever since then we've done a lot more. Actually, I've removed this old truck from here. I've taken this camper and put the trailer that's underneath this boat. I put the trailer underneath this and pushed it all the way back to the corner. And now one of these Fiats that's behind the shed has been hauled off. The that Subaru obviously is gone. Let me stop here. Let me see. I think the boat's basically here. I'm just going to be putting a whole bunch of trash in there and dumping it, taking it to the dump. And like I said, I took the trailer from here, put it underneath this, moved these logs, and pushed this all the way back towards this area. There was a trailer back here. We ripped off the canopy and everything, and you're using it as a fill. And I moved that trailer back to this corner underneath. Like I said, that old Ford truck is gone. And a lot of progress has been made. But of course, the main question still remains, and that is, can we turn this into a buildable lot? And is it going to work? I mean, is the county going to make it buildable? Because if you look here, let me go back in the video. So this property that's on the left of this red posts that are on the floor, that's also a similar size property, and it's showing buildable. So if they're showing buildable, why shouldn't this property also be buildable? So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting of me taking a risk to buy this piece of land that is super beautiful in the mountains, and the county has deemed it unbuildable. Don't know why. Um, the last time they did a perk test was in 1991, and about 35 years ago. And with all the newest, latest technology that's been out there with, tanks or above the ground septic systems, my main concerns right now are with the stream that's in the back of the property and what the setbacks have to be. So I'm in the process of contacting the county and talking to them to see what can be done here. And my goal is to either do some sort of manufactured home or some sort of small house, like 1,000 square foot house, something along those lines. If you found this video interesting and you're also looking for a piece of land, follow me on this journey by liking and subscribing, and I will share my learnings for you to, to learn something from it, and maybe you can do the same thing by getting a house that's super, building yourself a house that could be super cost effective versus buying something that's super old and paying way more for it. So hopefully you found this video valuable, and like and subscribe to see this project unfold.